As you can notice, there are two of us, because in COGWORKS we like to work in teams. And all of the previous presenters were working alone, but yeah,
we are doing a lot of pair programming.
So yeah, we are, and we are scared also. So my name is David Koruba. I'm an Umbraco developer in COGWORKS. I work in COGWORKS for almost half a year, and before working as a Umbraco developer, I was working with EpiServer. Some of you may know it as a different CMS, but paid one. Yeah.
Yeah, we work together. I'm Grzesiek Margol. We work together in our former company, but we were not pair programming there, so we had the chance to do that in the COGWORKS. Yeah, we both are certified Umbraco developers and trained by Mariusz
Majecki,
yeah. And in this presentation, Adam Sharkross, Umbraco fan, it's undercover boss. Our boss will help us. Yeah, thanks. So what we like to show you is few use cases of the website made by Umbraco. Some we worked on and some that are famous in general and the high profile. Okay, so continuing the tradition of from Ismailiusz, we'll give some sweets. Have some sweets to give away. Anyone?
Who will guess?
Yeah.
Who is she? What's their name?
What's her name? Anyone?
You don't count because you work with us. So.
Yeah. Who said that?
Łukasz.
No, but from the audience. Okay.
Yeah.
You want a Prince Polo or Krówka? Right. Yeah, we need to practice that.
I told you not to drink the beer.
Something for girls. Ania, Kasia. Okay.
Yeah.
Krówka or Prince Polo?
But Marcin also guesses, so.
Okay. Krówka? All right. Okay.
It's not a very popular show, but maybe some of you have watched it.
Yeah, and we'll recognize next faces.
This lady. Could you repeat?
Damn. He's good.
Ah, yeah.
Krówka or Prince Polo? A little bit harder. Her real name.
Okay, she has very difficult to pronounce name, so but you probably know her from the role in.
Is Gwendoline Christie or?
Gwendoline Christie.
All right, and those people,
so,
all of those people have something in common. Give us a second.
Good question.
And we have Prince Polo. It was not used. It's from Ismail. I got it from Ismail for. You need to ask question, Ismail. Okay. There is the same talent agency behind all those people we show, and that's the store management. It's a well-known talents management agency from London. And we will say something about it. That's the project that we made in the COGWORKS from the beginning. And basically we'll just share some details with you. This is how it looks like. We have boards for models, for artists. That's the board for women models. You can spot those. How to turn on laser? Yeah. Those numbers, those white numbers on the board images, those are statistics from the social media. And we can sort those boards by the reach in social media. Something for girls. Okay, and the artist.
This is also the, I guess, famous musician. And
Yeah, my
composer.
wife loves him.
Yeah. He's the second one.
Yeah, I'm his second fan. Okay, and the previous thing was the public side, and another component of this solution, that part of the solution is the e-casting. It allows the managers to propose models for the fashion shows. So they can choose the models from the database that we have, and then basically can propose if those models fit to the fashion show, and then if they agree, they just hire those models for this event. So we have two parts of the application. First one is the public side, which are the boards with the models, and second part is the e-casting, the thing for managers to basically manage the manage the castings. Here we have the list of the castings for some. It's a fake user, but just to show how it looks like. And here's the board where you select the models for the show, and then you send it to the client. And from the big picture, it's what the application does. That's all it does. Okay, some numbers regarding store. It was founded in 1987. Currently in database they have 969 talents, and since we developed the solution, we have recorded 15,000 castings in the system. Some more technical data. We have 5,000, almost 6K lines of code. The lines of code were counted by the Visual Studio code metrics. So it counts its own way. So I think it's more lines of code, but not relevant.
We are aiming to make it the lines of code higher as much as possible, because we are paid by line of code.
There was temptation just to double it or
joke.
Okay.
Our target is 10,000 exactly.
Yeah.
Adam promised us that, so we are trying hard.
Okay, so we committed 549 times, and we released 33 tagged versions. Probably there was more, but there is also probability that someone, when he was pushing to the repository, forgot to tag the version. So probably there's more versions we released. Okay. Architecture. It shows how the solution is set up. So the user using the loved and the famous browser in the industry just reaches web app. This chart is quite similar to what Michał shows in his presentations. We are not doing auto-scaling. Yeah, so basically we are using CDN on top of the blob storage to serve the images for the models. We are using web app as a core for web app, basically. We are using also the SQL database that's also hosted on the Azure, and we have one separate web job to get the statistics from the social services. Yeah, as I said before, we have two functional components: it's the public website and the casting intranet for the managers. Yeah, just to show you how the back office looks like. Those are the boards for the artists and models. Here we have e-casting and a bunch of other websites like privacy policy and the other stuff. The important thing is also this part where we keep all the models, all the models and talents basically. That's the back office media structure, where we keep all the images for the for the talents. And interesting thing about it is when we add the new model, we are automatically creating the media structure for the images, for the videos, and everything for those people in the media office. And we do that using the event handlers. It's built-in in Umbraco. We wouldn't go into the details, but you can check the documentation on the website. So just to give you a sample, just for instance, saving event. When we are saving some image or any other media item, the media event handler handles that event and creates the image crop. That's when we are saving the image. Another event is saved event, and then handler just sort the files in the directory. A little bit more happens when we are when we are saving content, when we are working content, when we are saving content on saved event, we are creating those media structures for the models. So basically, for example, for model, we create the images directory, videos directory, and there are other two sections, vision and creative, for which one we also create the directories. And when we pushing the when we publishing the content, then it's natural. Basically, we are just clearing cache for those items. And when we are published, we're doing the same. We're also clearing cache for those. Yeah, that's our web job. I thought before. Basically, it's scheduled to run once a day. It fetches the stats from all those services, from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Then it saves it to the database, so we can use it on the website when we show the board.
Just for the agencies to see what model or artists have the most social reach, so are the most known or just have most followers.
Yeah, for sure that adds some value for the models, just to be well known and have
those most popular are even more popular because they are first.
Yeah. Okay, just to remind you that those numbers, I can leave it for a second just to take a look. Another interesting fact is that this board, we are checking it very often just to make sure we don't have any issues on this one. So, yeah, I think it's natural, especially in our industry where we have, how many girls we have in the audience? Okay, 3, yeah.
This page is most bug-free because almost every mail in the office is checking it very often, so if there are any error occurs, and we are able to spot it almost instantly.
We don't want to show you the portfolio page, because when you click on the image, you will see the portfolio page with the bigger images, just to not lose the focus of the subject we are presenting. Just sorry, guys.
I don't recommend watching this site when you are in home and your wife is around. And
so there is a rule in COGWORKS: when you are working at home, you're not working on the store.
Yeah, this is just to avoid any problems at home and divorces, potential divorces or something like that.
There was a stories that.
Yeah, someone got beaten.
Yeah, for logging we are using the Elma.io. For the logging purposes, interesting fact is that we connected our Slack channel for the storm to this feed from the Elma, so we are notified on each error on Slack that we are used internally in the company.
For example, for maybe not of you are familiar with Slack, it's one of the messaging tool that you can use instead of emails. It's like basically like IRC. So you have channels, and you can subscribe to them and get a notification. So it's a lot easier and a lot quicker than using emails. So for those who don't know about it.
Yep. Yeah. Another thing regarding the project and the project lifetime, it's the deployments. We are using, we have 4 environments, 2 are ours internal to test, dev and staging, and 2 are clients on Azure, testing and production. We are using TeamCity to deploy, so we have automated deployments. Basically, in the COGWORKS, we are using the TeamCity for all our projects. So for all our projects, we have set up the one-click deployment, so it saves really a lot of time.
Yeah, and also we use Git, so we have it set it up like that. If you push to a particular branch, this branch is watched by TeamCity, and after there's a commit on this branch, the TeamCity will pull the code, build it, and deploy a version to our dev or staging. So this way, yeah, we can save ourselves a lot of time.
Yeah, and regarding Git, we are using the default pull request strategy. So before we are able to push to any of our branches, the code needs to go through the code review. And it works, to be honest, it works pretty well, I would say.
At least when the commits are not very big, because this way there's no way to review it. But
yeah,
if they're small, then this process works.
Yeah. So one thing to mention that we were struggling during the development of the project and during the lifetime of the project was the we are using Examine to index all models to be able to get the board items from the index, not from the database, to speed up the projects. And one thing to notify is that we shouldn't keep the index data on the local temp storage of the web application, because every time the web app is reinitialized, basically the index gets corrupted. There's the known issue, just the thing that to let you know we are struggling it, especially Ismail was struggling with it for a while. Yeah, so the solution is to store the Examine indexes in the Azure blob. Yep. Yeah, so the second of our second project that we'll talk about is Days Out Guide.
Days Out Guide. So this is the project that we took over from another company, and this is basically a site built, ordered by the National Rail Association in UK to allow users to search for attractions, and this way also buy tickets for and get vouchers for those attractions on the for the trains. And yeah, it contains ideas for trips. It has a lot of attractions in there, so you can plan your trip with this application.
Yeah, basically the attractions are the base data item of the application.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
everything in the application goes around the attractions. That's the sample page of the attraction. Yeah,
despite being a quite simple site, it has a lot of users, because there are almost 3 million users registered in the application.
Yeah, it's the well-known website in the UK, high profile.
Yeah, over 1,000 attractions, and during the not very busy hours we have like 600.
Yeah, it's average per day.
Average per day. In the peaks we have 3,000 requests per minute. Yeah, so some statistics for those who like to see the lines of code. We are also trying to reach 10,000 here. Hope we will do it this year.
Yeah, just to mention, the commits and the versions are since we inherited the project. So we are working on it about 2 months, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah. So
because we don't have the previous history of the code, so we are hand over like a zip of the code and.
Yeah, there's a long story behind how we got it.
Yeah.
And
switch.
yeah, there was no source control before, so we took kind of package of the project, and after we set it up on our environments, it appeared that our version that we got in the package is not the version that's actually on the live server.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a problem there, but we managed to fix it. So as you can see here, of course, surprise, surprise, we use Umbraco as our CMS. We are using Rackspace as our hosting partner. There's also some bit of entity framework used for the custom stuff that are stored in the database. We also use Elma.io to check logs online. And this is one of the cool sites to monitor your application performance. It shows you basically what pages on your site are mostly viewed, what are the average response times. So yeah, this also was quite helpful later on. Yeah. Sorry, technical problems. Yeah, so deployment looks very similar. Deployment process looks quite similar to what we have in Storm. So we have our environments. This is dev and staging.
And free on the Rackspace.
Yeah, free on Rackspace. So this is staging for testing for client testing, and pre-prod to see if everything works. And when the pre-prod is approved, then we just switch with production. Yeah,
the difference between this one and the Storm is that on this one, on the Rackspace, we have virtual machines. So we had to set up our own web deploy, and there is a bunch of PowerShell scripts to run it.
So it's not as cool as Michał showed us as it can be, and we are not fans of virtual machines, but we live it with the setup like it is now. So, but maybe it will change in the future.
Yeah, it takes time to.
Next live, maybe. So any problems? As we get the project, the website was very slow.
How slow?
Very, very, very slow.
Yeah, we mean it. It was very slow.
Very slow. Okay, so it basically was like that. So this is average response time. So it's like 90 milliseconds during the peaks of the traffic. So, and the red marks here are basically showing us where the site was throwing a lot of errors.
I think those peaks do not cover the MAMS peaks, right?
MAMS, yeah. I'm not sure how many MAMS is using this Days Out Guide application, because we don't have this kind of metric. But maybe they're exchanging the attractions with each other, and yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah, basically the red color means that the website was not available. There was timeouts.
Yeah, and so we started wondering. Of course, the PM was just like, what the f is going on, and why this site is performing this bad. So we started to investigating this, and this is the statistic from Elma, not Elma, sorry, the New Relic application.
Yeah, those are the slowest requests on the website.
Yeah, most of them are the Ajax calls, but you can see that the response times is not as nearly as good.
So according to what Maciej said about 100 milliseconds, if we reduce the...
So living with this lag would be like very painful.
For example, if we reduce from 44 seconds to the 1 second, it would be 100 milliseconds times 400. So it would be 400% increase in the revenue, I guess.
No, yeah, 400, right? Yeah. So it would be like super rich.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we started to investigate using New Relic to see what are the slowest responses, and using .trace, which is part of ReSharper Ultimate Pack, to see what code paths are the most executing most, and also we used the Apache JMeter to make
those tests
load
locally,
testing, locally,
manually.
so
I mean,
manually, of course. So we found this code, and for one that will guess what is wrong with this code, we have, I don't know, I will give you Grzegorz.
Yeah, Krówki or Prince Polo.
We will give you Prince
If anyone
Polo,
what
or
might be wrong
even
with this code?
Yeah. What's wrong with automapper? Yeah, but you can also notice this line.
No,
did you? Yeah, this is the good path. Yeah.
No, not always. We're not always saving to cache. Basically,
but
somewhere like here, we are checking if the item is in the cache.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, no, this is not the full code, but yeah, previously we are checking if this item is already in the cache. We are not this stupid.
I mean, we think so. But
yeah, but basically. Search service is searching for attractions, but basically this is not the case. The case is that linku, the select, is a part of linku. So this is stuff that is used to query database from the .NET code, and it has something like deferred execution. So this deferred execution means that the evaluation of an expression is delayed until its realized value is actually required. This is very technical and it seems quite complex, but it just means that the select will be executed when it will be needed. So not when it will be put in the cache, because this linku builds the definition of the query, not the results. So with this code, it didn't put the items to the cache. It
just
put the definition, what items should be there. So every time the cache item was basically maybe just here, just was getting from the cache and executed by adding to list, this service was run and the select was also executed. So basically the fix for that was just adding this line, and believe me, it's simple, but it okay, I will show this, but from this we get to like this, and those are the
slowest.
Those slowest are because we didn't fix them.
Still.
Because we didn't fix them.
Yeah, but the fourth one is
this
under
one. So from 49 seconds we get to 100 milliseconds for AJAX request. Just for the technical guys who are here, and just to let you know that, so our presentation will be at least
mix of everything.
Mix of everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we came across this flower, bug flower, I don't know, but
without small garden.
Without small.
There is a
cold garden.
Without small.
Bezogródek. Yes.
Yeah.
Without small garden. So this was called every time we search for attractions. So almost like every request, because every request was basically an attraction search. So, and this was going through should be root node, but it's going through all the descendants of the attraction. So it's traversing through the whole XML cache built for the content. Yeah.
So we did each request.
So basically, and it was the first or default. So it was every time this was executing, it took almost 1 second to execute this. Maybe not 1 second, but it was significant time for each request. And when we have peaks of traffic, then it was very slowing the site down. Besides this other stuff with cache.
Yeah, we don't have it on the slides, but from the CPU usage, about 99%
Yeah, on the server.
We go down to average about 13%.
13, 10, 13%.
How many cores does it have?
Like
16.
16. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really powerful machine.
So it was powerful machine. So it was, but it died. It was dying when there was a peak in traffic. So yeah.
Yeah, Anya, can you say what client said, that we were first company that
Yeah, and then
that didn't say to the client that they should buy the bigger machine.
Bigger machine. Yeah.
So the previous companies basically were saying just buy a bigger machine just to solve it. So that's not the way.
Yeah, but also it took us quite a lot of time to find this bottleneck and to fix it. So it's also yeah.